Good evening and welcome to the Reggie O'Brien Gymnasium at Wilby High School for an NVL basketball matchup between the Wilby Wildcats and the Ansonia Chargers. I'm Tom Felice and I'll be bringing you all the action as we have an NVL interdivision matchup. Wilby comes into this game with a 4-4 record on the season, 3-3 in the NVL and 1-2 in the brass division. Ansonia 2-7, 1-7 in the NVL, 0-3 in the NVL Copper Division. Both teams trying to get back to the state tournament. Last year, they were both in the state tournament, and oddly enough, they were both number 32 seeds. Wilby was the number 32 seed in Class L. They lost to Notre Dame West Haven. This year, Wilby will be in Division II in the state tournament if they qualify, and now that they have reset to 5 state tournaments instead of 4, as in the past. Ansonia was the number 32 seed in Class M last season, and they beat the top seed, Lewis Mills, before losing to rival Seymour in the second rounds. But for both teams, some work to do still to get to 8 wins in tournament qualification, and tonight will be a chance for them to move up, grab a much-needed victory, especially when it comes to Ansonia, as the Chargers have lost 5 straight games. Will be coming off a tough game. They lost by 25 to Holy Cross last time out after a very improbable comeback against Kaner Tech earlier in the week. Alan Piccolo is the head coach of Wilby in his 12th season, a record of 130 and 107, I should say. Shane Kingsley is the head coach of Ansonia. His 4th season, he has a record of 39 and 27. The teams head back to their bench for one final pep talk. Wilby will be without their 3rd leading scorer, Ty Quay Harding, missing his 3rd straight game. He was the preseason Best of the Rest nomination in the Republican American, and be some big shoes to fill for Wilby. They're led by Christian Harris. The senior guard averages over 23 points a game, and he scored at least 17 in every game where he's taken the floor. On the other side, it's a junior, Martin Antoine, who leads Ansonia in scoring just over 14 points a game, but not far behind him is a freshman, Sheldon Schuler, 6'4" freshman, averages 13.6 points per game, and you see him in the middle of the floor. He'll be jumping center against Dazan Mayo out of Wilby. Ansonia in the navy blue, Wilby in the home white. And the tip, 1 to Ansonia. Here's Antoine. It's slapped out of his hand. And out of bounds, last touch, Ronte Williams of Wilby. So it stays with the Chargers. Bit of a delay. The officials making sure the possession arrow is correct. And it is, as Ansonia gets the ball into Schuler at the top of the key. Here's Alfonso Smith. Smith to Antoine for three. Can't hit, rebound fought for. Harris comes away with it. He'll look to run, as will Wilby, more often than not. Here's Mayo. Mayo driving in, drops it baseline, and the first 2 points of the game are scored by Damian Wade, a 6'1" senior. Ansonia does not have any seniors in the starting lineup, no returning starters from last year, and only one senior. You'd expect to see much time. It's a very young Chargers team as they go inside to Monty Peppers. Peppers with the hoop. He had just 2 points last time out, and now Peppers has the first 2 points for Ansonia. This game's tied a minute in. Black to Harris, deep three. Off back iron. And a good job by Peppers to keep it in bounds. Now Smith has it back to Peppers. And across the timeline for the Chargers as Glenn Hines slows it down. Smith pulls up from 17 feet and hits. Alfonso Smith, the 5'8" junior, puts Ansonia on top 4-2, a minute and a half in. And we have the first foul of the game. It's called against Ansonia's Glenn Hines. Ronte Williams to inbound. Played for Crosby last year, now at Wilby. Facing a 2-3 zone, Williams goes to Harris and gets it right back. There's Antoine Black, and now Williams again. Bounces underneath Mayo. Harris in the corner. Throws to Wade, who puts it in for two. Wade averages 7 points a game, and he's up to 4 already. The game is tied at 4, 2 minutes in. Here's Schuler. Handoff to Antoine. Smith into the paint and got caught in the air. No one to throw it to. Turns it over. It's Wilby basketball. Williams and now Black. Black inside, puts it up and in. Got by one man and found a hole in the zone. Antoine Black puts Wilby back on top. They lead 6-4, 2.5 minutes in. Hines on the right wing. Uses a Schuler screen. Schuler was posting up against Christian Harris, where he has a 4 or 5 inch advantage. Now we'll try to take him on the dribble. Hines, 4-3. Rebound Mayo. Mayo to Harris. Free throw line, hands back to Williams. Tipped away, Alfonso Smith has the steal. He drives down and puts it up and in with the left hand. 4 points now for Smith. Ansonia's tied the game again. 6-6. It's even with 4:45 to play first period. Williams to Harris. Black. Wade. Now Antoine Black has it again. One dribble to Harris at the top of the key. One hand pass. Mayo takes it. Harris. Williams with time for three. Rolls off. Hines with the rebound for Ansonia. And he'll give the ball to Schuler, their tallest starter by at least 4 inches. Schuler drives in. Can't get it to go. And a foul called on the inside. Should see Martin Antoine going to the free throw line as Dazan Mayo commits his first and the team's first foul. Just about 4 minutes in, and it's Antoine at the line for two. First one good for Antoine, who has been in double digits in 7 of the 9 Ansonia games this season, averaging just over 14 points a game. Antoine hits them both. Ansonia leads by 2 again at 8-6. Neither team has had a lead of more than 2 at any point in the first 4 minutes of this one. High pass to Harris. Stays inbounds, get it to Williams. The floater in the paint. Can't get it to go, and Antoine rips the rebound down. Tipped away from behind. Schuler loses it. Harris now with it. Harris attacking the much bigger Schuler unsuccessfully. Smith leads the way. Passes it to Antoine, who lays it in for 2. Alfonso Smith with the great dish. And Ansonia is up by 4. Here's Williams. High pass to Harris again. 3:15 to play first quarter. Harris tapped away. Schuler got a hand in there. Here's Glenn Hines. And Williams knocks it away. Tiptoes to stay inbounds and gets it to Harris. Harris for Wilby. Can't control it. Losing it over the baseline. Calvin Hicks checks in for the first time today. Dazan Mayo out of the game for Wilby. The Wildcats trail Ansonia 10-6. 2:56 remaining first period here at Wilby. The press comes off for Wilby, so Alfonso Smith is able to walk it up. Now he picks up his dribble, finds Schuler, who's drawn Wade out to defend him. Schuler, top of the key, drives in, puts it up, can't hit. Rebound for Hines. Fresh chance, Smith underneath, and a shot blocked from behind. Monty Peppers was going up. The block hit the baseline, so it stays with Ansonia. Smith creates some space. Schuler, and there's contact. Antoine Black called for the foul. Second on Wilby. Ruled not a shooting foul, very emphatically by the referee. Here's Smith from the corner for 3. Can't hit. Williams with the rebound for Wilby. Harris in the left corner for 3. Off the front rim. Schuler pulls down the rebound. And he'll bring it up. Schuler to his left. And before he got to the hoop, he was hit. Damian Wade called for the foul on the floor. His first foul, the team's third in the first 6 minutes of this one. Ansonia ahead 10-6. Antoine for 3. Well, long. Harris grabs it, looking to run. Long pass to Hicks, whose pass is errant. Schuler picks it up. Hines for Ansonia. Antoine into the lane. Can't get it to go. And Damian Wade grabs the rebound. Williams throws it underneath. Wade unable to convert, but it'll head to the line for 2. Wilby and Ansonia usually play at different paces. Wilby averages almost 69 points a game. Ansonia averages just over 49. First free throw for Wade is good. So I have to think a slower pace benefits Ansonia more than Wilby. Wilby, a team that definitely likes to run. Interestingly enough, both teams give up about 71 points per game on the defensive end. Second one no good. Ansonia lead now 3 at 10-7. Antoine blocked from behind, but the putback is easy for Monty Peppers. Here's Harris. Pulls up from the elbow. Well short. Williams. Black puts it on the deck. Williams with it, and he is hit. Alfonso Smith called for the foul. Dazan Mayo back in. Damian Wade heads to the bench. Ansonia ahead 12-7, exactly 1 minute to play first quarter. Black for Wilby. Here's Christian Harris. Black in the corner. Dumps it underneath for Mayo. Can't hit. And Peppers loses the rebound over the baseline. Did see number 11, Isaac Saravia, check in for Wilby, and now number 11, Alex Gonzalez, on court for Wilby. Harris for three. Finally hits one. First points of the game for Harris. And Wilby's back within 2 at 12-10. 22 seconds to go in the period. Black with a steal. And he gets it to go. That's a quick 5 points to tie the game. 10 seconds remaining in the quarter. Schuler with it. Peeks at the clock. Schuler to the free throw line. Can't hit. And the first period ends. Wilby 12, Ansonia 12. Ready to start the second period here in Waterbury. Tom Felice bringing you NVL basketball action. Wilby and Ansonia tied at 12 after one period. It will be the Wildcats to start off with the ball here in the second frame. Black. Now Christian Harris, who had a three near the end of the period, drives inside, can't hit. Rebound fought for, and Schuler ends up with it for Ansonia. He was held scoreless in the first period. He's the second leading scorer for Ansonia. Here's a leading scorer, Antoine. He had 4 in the first 8 minutes of this one. Smith bounces it to Schuler. Monty Peppers. And quickly the other way, it's Antoine Black. He can't convert. Another rebound for Schuler, who's by far the tallest player on the court. He's been able to pull in a lot of rebounds, and he's had an effect on the game without scoring. And Sonia calls timeout. Glenn Hines was trapped next to the sideline, and Ansonia uses one of their 30-second timeouts. Almost a minute into the second quarter. This game tied at 12. After this one, Ansonia will have hit the halfway point of their season. This is their 10th game of the year. Wilby at 9. They have a couple of tough matchups ahead as Wilby plays Waterbury Career Academy and Crosby in their next 2 games. Ansonia takes on Oxford the next time out, but after that it's Sacred Heart. There's really no off nights in the NVL, but especially when you have teams like Crosby, Sacred Heart, and Holy Cross on the schedule. Ansonia keeps possession. Here's Alfonso Smith. Hines with it. Back to Smith and Schuler. Smith with it, one of 3 players with 4 points each to lead the way for Ansonia. Peppers to Schuler. A gamble on a steal gives Hines some room. Antoine for 3, and he hits. Martin Antoine now with 7, and Ansonia leads by 3. Hines with it. Low pass to Antoine. Drives inside, and Martin Antoine taking it strong to the hoop. 5 straight points for the junior. And now it's a 5-point lead for Ansonia. 6 minutes to go first half. Harris up top. Black. Now Gonzalez on the baseline. Black with it. Lefty puts it up and hits. Black has 6 points to lead Wilby. They trail by 3. And Harris quickly with it. He puts it up and in with the left hand. Back to a 1-point game, 17-16 Ansonia. 5:15 remaining in the second period. High pass for Antoine. He pulled it in and is able to hit. Antoine with 7 points in the period, 11 in the game. Harris back the other way. Can't get it to roll. Hines ahead. Too strong with the right hand. Calvin Hicks pulls it in. Hicks driving down. Hits and the foul. Martin Antoine called for the block. Couldn't get the charge in time. And Hicks gets his first points of the game. And he'll head to the foul line for a chance to add one more. 4:49 remaining in the first half. No good on the free throw. Ansonia keeps their 1-point lead. Schuler drives. Here's Hines. Schuler again muscling to the hoop. Too strong. Antoine the rebound. He can't hit, but he was hit. And will head to the line for 2. Dezon Mayo called for the foul. His second. Antoine has already hit 2 free throws today. And he makes the first, making it look very simple. Antoine now has 12 points. His season high is 22. That came against Woodland on the 27th of December. That was an overtime loss for Ansonia. Long 3 from the corner. Hicks can't hit. And neither can Hines the other way, and Harris runs out with it. Dumps it underneath. Hicks can't get the roll, and Schuler will slow things down. You see the contrast. Wilby gets a rebound and looks to run. Ansonia gets a rebound and slams on the brakes. Just past the halfway point of the second quarter. Ansonia ahead 20-18 as Calvin Hicks is called for the foul there. Referee ruling he stuck his leg out as the Ansonia player ran past. Shaquem Harmon checks in for Ansonia for the first time. Harmon with it now. Goes to Schuler in the corner. Harmon, an outside linebacker on the Ansonia football team that lost in the Class S championship game, as Schuler skies his 3. And football season, of course, so big in Ansonia, always has an impact on the basketball season as well, as the football championship game was played on December 11th. And that cuts into basketball practices. It appears a technical foul was just called on Monty Peppers. And Christian Harris will step to the free throw line. Hard to see what happened on that one. Peppers may have said something as he blocked the shot. Harris able to hit the first free throw, and he'll have one more. Harris hits 1 of 2. Wilby 2 of 5 from the stripe. They're back within 1. It's 2019 Ansonia. 3:25 to go second quarter. Ronte Williams at the head of the key. Harris, Black in the corner. Can't hit. The three's not falling for Wilby. Harris pulls one. Can't hit either. And Harmon pulls in the rebounds. And he is fouled in the backcourt. That foul on Calvin Hicks. His second. The team's 6th. So Ansonia will be shooting free throws on the next one. Approaching the 3-minute mark of the second quarter. Harmon bounces it to Schuler. Still scoreless. 3 from the left wing, short from Alfonso Smith. And Williams now looks to run. And there's no one there once he threw his pass. Antoine Black was cutting towards the hoop. Ansonia takes over. Harmon. Antoine in the left corner, right corner, and he is called for traveling. He jumped and turned 180 degrees, didn't keep a pivot foot. Harris deep left wing. Now it's Black. Williams again. Williams driving in with the right hand, can't hit. Peppers the rebound for Ansonia. Here's Schuler. Picks up his dribble. Hard pass that Peppers is able to pull in. Now he picks up his dribble and goes back to Schuler between the rings. Deflected. Harris ahead of the pack. Christian Harris comes up short. And Wade turns it over. So Ansonia will have the ball again, leading by 1. 20-19. 1:44 to play, first half. Antoine for 3. Off back iron. Wade pulled in the rebound. Williams picks up his dribble. Harris. And Christian Harris, with his second triple of the day, now has 9 points. And for the first time since the game was 6-4, Wilby has a lead at 22-20. Left elbow jumper. Alfonso Smith ties the game at 22 with a minute to play in the first half. Harris, Williams, Black, in and out. Peppers with the rebound, and Shaquem Harmon brings it up. Here's Schuler, who can't have had many scoreless halves this season. Sheldon Schuler yet to score in this one. The ball taken away. Antoine Black throws it ahead to Harris, who puts it up and in. "20 seconds for Ansonia to try to tie this back up or take a lead, but Christian Harris is called for the foul. His first. And as it's the 1-1, Alfonso Smith steps to the free throw line with a chance to tie the game. Wilby had 24-22. Now 17 seconds left in the first half. First free throw, good for Smith. And he makes them both. Ansonia 5 of 6 from the free throw line. Game tied at 24. Last 10 seconds of the first half. Black to Harris, back to Black. Just 3 seconds now. Williams drives, puts it up from the baseline, and misses long. And after the first quarter was ended tied at 12, the second quarter ends tied at 24. We go to halftime with everything even in Waterbury. A tight first half in Waterbury. I'm Tom Felice at the Reggie O'Brien Gymnasium as Wilby and Ansonia start the second half tied at 24. The first half featured 6 ties, 4 lead changes, and the largest lead for either team was just 5. Ansonia led 12-7 near the end of the first period. The first period was tied 12-12 when it was over. The second period tied 24-24. Alfonso Smith with it for Ansonia in the blue. Here's Sheldon Schuler into the paint. Schuler puts it up and gets the roll. First points of the game for Schuler. The freshman is the second leading scorer on the team. Has just 2 today. Harris. Now Antoine Black. Ronte Williams driving in, and he is rejected. Schuler sending that into the Wilby bench. Schuler, the largest player on the court by a couple of inches, using his height there to knock Williams' shot away. Williams in the paint this time. Now Dazan Mayo underneath Wade, can't get it to roll. It'll stay with Wilby, last touched by Ansonia. Almost a minute into the second half. Ansonia had 26-24. Harris finds Wade, and now Williams. Black. Williams top of the key. Hard pass inside. Wade unsuccessful again, and this time the ball goes to Ansonia. Ansonia, coached by Shane Kingsley, well known in the NVL, an all-state basketball and football player at Woodland. Now coaching at Ansonia. Schuler to Hines. Schuler again. Looking to break down Williams. Picks up his dribble, goes to Hines. Hines all the way underneath for 2. His first points of the game, and Hines gives Ansonia a 4-point lead. Minute and a half into the second half, and a big block from behind. Glenn Hines rejecting Christian Harris. Harris for 3. That's an answer to the block shot. Harris leads all scorers now with 14 points. It's a 1-point Ansonia lead. They call the jump ball. It will go to Wilby. Looks like Ronte Williams is going to rip it away. In either case, the Wildcats have the ball. Williams has it. Ansonia was showing zone in the first half. They're in a man defense right now. Mayo unsuccessful, and his pass is too high. Ends up with Alfonso Smith. Ansonia can't keep possession. Hines showing the effort, ending up in his own bench. But it's Wilby basketball. Wildcats trail by a point. 5:40 to go, third quarter. Williams all the way underneath, and a foul called. Monte Peoples charged with that foul. And as it's a shooting foul, it'll put Ronte Williams at the line. Williams' second leading scorer on Wilby has yet to score today. And he has still not scored. Wilby now 2 of 6 from the free throw line. Williams, the senior, will look to hit the second. He does, and it ties the game at 28. 7th time this game has been tied. Long pass to Antoine. He's called for steps. Antoine Black. They're playing strong defense against Martin Antoine. Earns the turnover. Williams. Mayo to the right. Hits, and the foul. There's another foul on Monte Peoples for Hicks, his second field goal, and his second and one attempt today. He had one in the second quarter and was unable to convert the three-point play. This time, Hicks makes it happen. He now has 5 points, a 3-point lead for Wilby. Timeout called by Ansonia. They want a full timeout. Wilby up 31-28, 5:11 to go in the third period. And this is the largest lead of the game for Wilby at 3 points. All their previous leads had been 2 points, so now a 3-point margin for Wilby here in the third quarter. Ansonia has gone away from the zone defense, and they've not been able to slow Wilby down as they had in the first 2 periods. Shane Kingsley crouched in front of his team on the Ansonia bench, trying to come up with the answers. 7-0 run for Wilby. Ansonia has committed some mental mistakes as well. They're having trouble against the press. Alfonso Smith, hassled by Harris. Antoine grabs the pass. He's double-teamed. Hines, now Schuler with a good move through traffic. Schuler now with 4. Back to a 1-point game. 4:50 to go, third period. Harris with the elbow jumper. He's up to 16 points. He's had at least 17 in every game this season, and he's certainly on pace to hit the number again tonight. Smith loses it. Harris gets it to Black. Gets one man to miss, gets 2 more to miss. And Antoine Black with a simple 2 eventually makes it a 5-point Wilby lead. Pass underneath to Peppers. Top of the key, Hines tipped away. Black again. This time he goes straight up. Can't get it to work. And Harris can set up the offense. Just past 4 minutes gone in the third period. Wilby ahead 35-30, their largest lead of the game. Williams for three. That's short. Hines. Williams takes it away. Williams fouled. Going up for the shot. Hines called for the foul. He had a chance to drive it up across half court. Instead, he slowed down and went right back into trouble. Williams 1 of 2 from the line today. Wilby as a team is 4 of 8. First one perfect for Williams. Isaac Saravia back into the game. Glenn Hines checks out for Ansonia. Second one for Williams. Rolls off, but the rebound picked up by Wilby. Now a 6-point lead. It's a 12-2 run for the Wildcats. Black to Williams. Williams for three. In and out. And a foul called in the rebound attempt on Damian Wade. So this is a 12-2 run. The third quarter has been the home to a couple of runs this season for Wilby. They had a 28-2 run against Kennedy back on January 3rd. And they made an 11-point deficit up very quickly in the third quarter. Eventually in that game, Wilby led by as many as 26. So another third quarter run here. Ansonia will keep possession. 3:19 to go, third quarter. Wilby ahead 36-30. Smith for Ansonia. Now Antoine, he hasn't scored in the second half. He had 12 at halftime. Schuler, who does have 4 points here in the second half after being held scoreless in the first half, into the paint. Underneath for Peppers, who hits. Foul called on Dazan Mayo. Third foul for Mayo. And it puts Peppers at the line. Ansonia 5 of 6 today. Peppers can't hit. Harris now for Wilby. Spins, puts it up and in off the glass. 18 points for Harris. 38-32. Wilby on top of Ansonia. 2:35 to go. Third period. Antoine Black with the steal. Harris with the right hand for 2 more. Timeout, Ansonia. Christian Harris with 9 points in the third period. Wilby leads by 8, 40-32. 2:24 remaining third quarter. Wilby outscoring Ansonia 16-8 here in the third period. To open up this lead, the game was tied at 24 at halftime. Harris with 9 second half points. He now has 11, or I should say 20 total after 11 in the first half. His season high is 27. He hit that number against Naugatuck on December 21st, and last time out against Holy Cross, he had 27 then as well. Wilby definitely getting it done with the defense. They're hassling Ansonia in the backcourt. And Schuler takes it across the timeline and draws a foul against Christian Harris. The second foul against Harris, third team foul here in the second half. Smith to Schuler. Schuler from the free throw line. Can't hit, but the rebound there for Harmon. Another chance, Smith can't hit, and Wilby has the ball under 2 minutes to go, third period. Harris with the left hand, no. Smith with it again. Smith picks up his dribble. Now Schuler has it. Smith with it as Ansonia sets up the offense in the half court, trailing by 8. Top of the key, Alfonso Smith with the three. Second three-point field goal of the day for Ansonia. They're back within 5. Hicks on the right wing. Harris, left wing, 4-3. Off back iron, high rebound, corralled by Wade. But Schuler takes it away. Under a minute to play, third quarter. 5-point game, Antoine for 3, and he hits! Second three of the game for Antoine. Back-to-back threes makes it a 2-point Wilby lead. 6-0 run from Ansonia. Black puts the ball on the deck. Ansonia has it, and they're able to get out of there. Harmon gives it to Smith, who gets it across the timeline. 30 seconds to play in the period. Smith can't hit. Antoine's putback blocked. Harmon, and now Smith. Smith from the elbow, can't get the roll. Harris has it. 12 seconds in the quarter. Harris called for steps. He thought he had the Euro step going to the hole, but called for the travel. And with 6 seconds in the third period, Ansonia will have the ball trailing by 2. Wilby sets up the press. They got Ronte Williams back in. Looks like they're going to adjust the time on the clock. Head coach Alan Piccolo over to help out. It appears they want to put 6.8 on the board. But right now it says 68. You try to run it down from there, it's going to take us over a minute, so they've aborted that effort. Ansonia bring subs to the table. And there's 6-8 on the clock. And Ansonia brings in Devontae Weaver and Isaac Saravia. They get Monty Peoples and Martin Antoine off the court. Pass to Schuler. Throws it ahead, Saravia underneath at the horn. Unsuccessful. A chance for Devontae Weaver to tie the game. Heading to the fourth period, Wilby with a 2-point lead, 40-38. For the last 6 points of the third period to send us to the final 8 minutes with Wilby ahead by just 2, 40-38 at the start of the fourth quarter. Tom Felice here at the Reggie O'Brien Gymnasium in Waterbury, Connecticut. NVL interdivision matchup between the Wilby Wildcats and Ansonia Chargers. Ansonia 2-7 on the year, Wilby 4-4. Both teams looking for that magic number 8 to make it to the state tournament qualification. Martin Antoine in the corner. Stolen. It's Hicks the other way, and he can't hit. And Ansonia has the ball back with Sheldon Schuler. Schuler puts it up, short. Black on it for Wilby. High pass knocked off the backboard. Harris 4-3, and he hits. Wilby calls timeout after Christian Harris hits a 3. He has 23 points. His team has 43. 43-38. Wilby leading 45 seconds in to the fourth period. Harris, who averages 23 points a game, is right on the number with his third three-pointer. Check that, fourth three-pointer of the day for Harris. Harris, who certainly has to shoulder more of the load with Tyquay Harding out of the lineup for the third straight game. And Ronte Williams, the second leading scorer, held to just 2 so far today. Harris has 23. Antoine Black has 8 points for Wilby. Five-point lead for the Wildcats. Martin Antoine has 15 points to lead Ansonia. Alfonso Smith has 11. So Antoine has hit his average. He came into the game with an average of 14.2. Antoine loses it. Williams throws it ahead to Mayo. He can't hold on. This ball's still loose. Christian Harris has it, and he stepped on the baseline. A minute into the fourth period, and Ansonia has the ball down 5. They led by as much as 5 in the first quarter. It was tight through the first 2 periods, a 12-2 run. Out of a 12-6 run, I should say, out of halftime. Gave Wilby a bit of breathing room as they led by as many as 6. Christian Harris called for the foul there. That is his third. And Shaquem Harmon was just teed up for something he said. He was right in front of the official. The official goes over to Shane Kingsley, and after the explanation, Kingsley, the head coach for Ansonia, does not argue. So Harris will head to the free throw line for 2. He made 1 of 2 technical attempts earlier, and he misses the first. Will be 5 of 11 at the free throw line. And Harris came up well short on that one. But it will be Wilby basketball. So Ansonia let off as Harris misses both free throws, but they do lose a possession. Wilby has it up 5, 6:45 to go. Williams looks to slow it down, forcing Ansonia to come out of the 2-3 zone. Here's Black. Black to Harris. And Williams on it now, and what looks like a pretty standard 4 corners offense for Wilby as they lead by 5. And Mayo tried a no-look pass. It's taken away. Harmon has it swatted, and Wade comes up with it. Williams steps across half court and slows things down. Just over 2 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Wilby leads by 5. Calvin Hicks, pass inside to Wade, who can't get the roll. And Schuler pulls in the board. Long pass to Peppers. Antoine unsuccessful. Wilby comes away with it. Harris into the paint. Can't go through Schuler, but Wade hits the putback for his first points of the second half. 7-point lead now for Wilby. 5:10 to play. Antoine from the right elbow, off back rim. Schuler skied in for the rebound and draws a foul. The foul is on Ronte Williams. First foul against Williams, 5th of the second half, with exactly 5 minutes to go and a 7-point Wilby lead. It is Ansonia basketball. Antoine throws it in deep where Schuler can receive it. Schuler at the free throw line, goes to Harmon for three. Off back iron, ends up with his own rebound. And it looked like Harmon forced the pass inside, but it's kicked by Wilby. So Ansonia maintains possession. Smith bounces to Antoine. Can't get the roll. Put back good for Monty Peppers. Back to a 5-point game. 45-40. 4.5 minutes to play. Harris, now Williams. Ansonia forced to stretch the defense as Wilby looks to run some clock. Harris, Black on it. Crosses over, Antoine Black comes up short and Schuler grabs the board. Schuler underneath for Antoine, the pump fake, and he can't hit. But the foul will put him at the free throw line. Dazon Mayo committing his 4th foul. The Antoine at the line for 2. He is 3 of 4 today. Ansonia is 5 of 7 at the free throw line. And the first one rolls off. Damian Wade back in, Antoine Black out for Wilby. Wildcats looking to get above 500. They're 4-4 on the year as Antoine misses them both. Long pass ahead to Hicks. Shot is rejected by Antoine, and Hicks is called for a travel. He went up and down. Just past the halfway point of the 4th quarter. 5-point Wilby lead at 45-40. Smith to Schuler for Ansonia. Antoine underneath, and he hits. 17 points now for Martin Antoine. A 3-point game, 3:35 to go. Mayo. Wade, and Damian Wade gets the roll. He has 9 points. Alfonso Smith loses it, and they rule that Ansonia called timeout before the steal. As a tough decision to be seen as the ball was on the far side of the court from the benches. So the referee getting the signal for timeout is not the one near the ball. Ansonia given the timeout. They're down to just 1 now. 3:17 remaining. As you see the Wilby huddle, the Wildcats ahead 47-42. Christian Harris leads them with 23 points. Damian Wade has 9. Antoine Black has 8. Martin Antoine has 17 points for Ansonia. Alfonso Smith has 11, and Monty Peppers has 8. Ansonia with the ball, trying to cut into the 5-point deficit. Smith bounce pass to Schuler underneath, and Sheldon Schuler puts it in. Schuler now with 6 points, still well under his average of 13.5 per game. 3-point Wilby lead, under 3 minutes to go. Williams to Harris for a long three. Off the back rim, Antoine the rebound for Ansonia. Schuler walks it up. Ansonia just 2-7 on the season as Williams tips it out of bounds. Ansonia could really use the victory. They're on a 5-game losing streak. Antoine can't tie it from the corner. And Williams has it again for Wilby. Now 2:20 to go. Ansonia was 8-14 last year. They got into the tournament with just 7 wins as the CIAC makes sure there are now 32 teams in the brackets as Antoine comes up with a steal and he is fouled. Ansonia in Division 4 this year for the state tournament as Calvin Hicks was called for the foul that'll put Martin Antoine at the line for 2 free throws. Antoine, or for the 1-and-1 I should say. Antoine 3 of 6 at the stripe today. Ansonia is just 5 of 9. Antoine hits the first. 18 points now for Martin Antoine. Leading scorer for Ansonia, and he hits the second. It's a 1-point game. 47-46 with 2 minutes to go. Christian Harris can't hit. And a foul called inside. The attempt from Harris was almost all the way down and came back up. The foul called on Monty Peppers. That is his 4th. It puts Damian Wade at the free throw line for 2 shots. He's 1 of 2 today. Wilby's just 5 of 12 as they miss another. 1:57 remaining. Wilby up by 1, Wade with a chance to make the lead 2, and he does. Schuler gets it into Shaquem Harmon. Smith, Antoine, and now Peppers pulls it back to Schuler. Harmon for 3 in the lead, and he hits! First points of the game for Shaquem Harmon. Ansonia's up by 1. Minute and a half to play. Harris in the lane, banks it home. Wilby takes a timeout. They're back on top. (50-49), 1:28 to go. Ansonia battling back. They've trailed by as much as 7 here in the 4th quarter. They came back to take a 1-point lead on the Shaquem Harmon 3-pointer. Harmon just a sophomore, going over his season average with 1 shot. Came into this game putting up just 2.7 points per. Ansonia with the ball, trailing by 1 point. 1:20 to go in regulation. Sheldon Schuler with it. Schuler to his right, puts it up, and hits it fading away. Harris into the lane. A blocking foul called. Give Harris the hoop. Harris has 27 points, tied for his season high, and he can add to it with one free throw. Harris hits a new season high of 28 for Harris. With a minute to go, it's 53-51, Wilby. Schuler gives it to Harmon, who hit that big three. Harmon now to Smith. 45 seconds to go. Harris called for a foul. He had his hand on Alfonso Smith's arm. That's 4 fouls now on Harris. And it puts Alfonso Smith at the free throw line. He's 2 of 2 there today. This is the 1-and-1 for Smith. And he can't get the roll on the first. They get the ball in the hands of Harris. Just 35 seconds to go. We'll be up by 2. Harmon able to knock it away. 32 seconds, so a little time in a one-possession game to go for a steal before Ansonia needs to foul. And there they give the foul. Alfonso Smith called for the foul. It puts Antoine Black at the free throw line. This is the 1-and-1. Wilby's just 7 of 15 from the free throw line today. First one no good. No one from Wilby contesting the free throw. Jump ball, arrows pointing to Wilby. The Wildcats have the ball again, 25 seconds to go. Wilby up by 2. They don't want to foul Harris, but they have to. He gives it up to Williams. The pass is tipped out of bounds. That's Ansonia basketball. 14.4 seconds to go. Timeout Ansonia, as they'll look to tie or win this game, trailing by 2, 14.4 seconds to go. An interesting decision coming up here for Ansonia. They've hit just 3 3-pointers today. Martin Antoine has hit 2 of them. Alfonso Smith the other. Wouldn't be shocked to see them put the ball in the hands of Sheldon Schuler, who has 8 second-half points, and have him power towards the rim and see if he can draw a foul, though we haven't seen Schuler at the free throw line today. There's 14.4 seconds to go, and Wilby's up by 2. So Ansonia ties with a 2, leads with a 3. Of course, they have to hit that shot. Christian Harris for Wilby has 4 fouls, so he has to be careful. He has 28 points for Wilby. So you know the Wildcats do not want to lose him for a potential overtime period as they clean up some fluid on the floor in front of the Wilby bench. Harmon will inbound after they make sure the floor is dry. They're still working on the floor. All the players going over and trying to dry it up as something ended up on the court. Ball goes inbound to Smith, and he's tied up. It stays with Ansonia on the alternate possession. Now 10.6 seconds to go. Ansonia does not have a timeout. Schuler puts it up and in for two to tie the game. 4 seconds to go. Here's Harris crossing over. Harris at the buzzer. No good. And this one's going to overtime. Sheldon Schuler bringing it to the rim. And regulation ends tied at 53. Ansonia's played one overtime game this year. They fell to Woodland 67-60. Wilby has not played overtime yet this season. As you see, 4 minutes, I should say, put on the scoreboard. Christian Harris leads all scorers with 28 points for Wilby. Antoine has 18 for Ansonia. This game was tied after the first period. It was tied after the second period. And now it's tied at the end of regulation. Wilby wins the tip. High pass. Harris can't keep it in. It goes to Ansonia. Wilby in the press. Not a very tight press as Smith comes across half court for Ansonia. Now Schuler with the ball in his hands. Peppers underneath for Antoine. Can't get it going. Schuler with the steal for Ansonia. Played just 30 seconds here in overtime, but both teams will look to settle it down. Schuler, Smith underneath, Antoine. Hits and the foul. Lante Williams called for that foul. And puts Martin Antoine at the line. Ansonia 6 of 12 from the stripe today. Antoine can't hit. Williams with the ball. Will be trailing by 2, 55-50. 3:05 to go in overtime. Harris. Black. Ball inside. Tipped away. Ansonia back with it. Antoine with a big pick for Schuler. Left corner three won't go. Antoine with the rebound. And a foul called on the floor. It will be the 1-and-1 for Antoine. Antoine Black called for the foul. And it will be 2 shots now for Antoine, as that's the 10th team foul. It was a two-shot foul. As Antoine misses the first, he's struggling at the free throw line here in the late going. Hits the second. 3-point lead for Ansonia, 56-53. 2:35 remaining in the first overtime period. Harris at the head of the key. Underneath for Damian Wade. Can't get it to go. Out of bounds. Last touch by Ansonia as Monty Peppers was laying on the baseline, touching the ball. So Wilby keeps it with Christian Harris to inbound. Foul there called on Shaquem Harmon. He's ruled to have pushed Antoine Black, so that puts Black at the free throw line. He's 0 of 1 at the stripe tonight. This will also be a 1-and-1, and he'll look to get 2 shots. Makes the first. Wilby now 8 of 17 at the line, with a second free throw coming here for Black. And he hits it. It's a 1-point game. Ansonia ahead 56-55. 2:21 remaining in overtime. Schuler with it. Schuler hit the game-tying bucket. Antoine is tied up. It stays with Ansonia on the alternate possession. Harmon has it taken away. Mayo to Harris, and he lays it in to put Wilby on top. Now 30 points for Harris and a 1-point Wilby lead. 2 minutes to go in overtime. A steal, Hicks. Fouled. Alfonso Smith called for the foul, and it'll be Hicks at the free throw line for 2. He is 1 of 2 today. Hicks long on the first. Second one, no good. Schuler brings in the rebound. Harmon with it. Ansonia trails by a point. 1:45 to go. Harmon picks up his dribble, tipped around, and Sheldon Schuler runs into Calvin Hicks. That'll put Hicks at the free throw line. And now that's a 10th team foul. So Hicks will be there for 2. He just missed 2. Will be struggling at the free throw line. 7 of 19 as a team. Hicks hits the first one here. Hicks now with 6 points in the game. 1:42 remaining here in overtime. Hicks can't hit the second. So a 2-point Wilby lead at 58-56. Schuler, the freshman, with the ball in his hand, takes it across half court. Alfonso Smith. Hines for 3, comes up short. Smith the rebound. Hines pump fakes and pulls it back out. There's Alfonso Smith. Hines again. 1:10 to play now. Schuler with Ansonia trailing by 2. Gets it back, throws it out of bounds. Off of Williams. Ansonia keeps it. 1:04 to play. Harmon checks in. Hines out for Ansonia. The Chargers trail by 2 and have the ball. Schuler with Christian Harris guarding him. Harris has 4 fouls. Schuler to Smith for 3 in the lead. Mayo grabs the rebound and he's fouled. Foul appeared to be on Monty Peppers, and 5 for him. Whoever was called on did just foul out. Hard to see who it was. We'll be ahead 58-56. 50.2 seconds remaining in the overtime period. Oh, it's Hines in as Peppers fouls out. Dezon Mayo at the free throw line. He does not have a point. He has not attempted a free throw today. It'll be 2 shots for Mayo. And he misses the first. Second one, good for Mayo, and Wilby takes a timeout. Lead 59-56, 50.2 seconds to go. Four three-pointers today for Ansonia. Shaquem Harmon with 1, Alfonso Smith with 1, Martin Antoine with 2. Plenty of time for Ansonia, trailing by 3 with 50.2 seconds remaining in regulation. Sheldon Schuler has 10 points, all in the second half for Ansonia. Martin Antoine, 21 points for the Chargers. This was a full timeout taken by Wilby. Ansonia should have just 1. Head coach Shane Kingsley used all of his regulation timeouts. Wilby did not use all of their timeouts in regulation. Alfonso Smith to inbound, gets it to Schuler. Ansonia trails by 3 now, 46 seconds to play. Schuler across half court, picks up his dribble, finds Antoine, right back to Schuler. Schuler stuck in the corner underneath Antoine, and he's fouled. His shot was blocked away, but the foul is called on Dezon Mayo. Should be 5 on him. It is. So Mayo fouls out. With Antoine going to the free throw line. Antoine hits the first. Antoine now 6 of 12 from the free throw line, and he makes them both. 1 point game, 59-58 Wilby. 30 seconds to go. Williams in trouble. Timeout called by Wilby. This is a very similar situation to regulation. With 1:28 to go, Wilby led 50-49. They eventually had a 53-51 lead near the end of regulation before Sheldon Schuler tied it up with about 5 seconds to go. Ansonia has time to go for a couple of steals with 24.5 seconds on the clock. Timeout Wilby. Ronte Williams couldn't get the ball in. Another full timeout taken by Wilby. Plenty of time for them to talk over this sideline out of bounds play. (59-58). Wilby leads Ansonia. 24.5 seconds to go. I'm Tom Felice here at the Reggie O'Brien Gymnasium. Wilby High School, the site of a tight NVL boys basketball matchup. Ronte Williams inbounding for Wilby. The Wildcats up by a point. They get it to Harris in the backcourt. Foul called on Alfonso Smith. Four fouls now on Smith. Puts Harris at the free throw line with 22.7 seconds to go. Harris will shoot 2 free throws. He already has 30 points on the night. And he hits the first. It will be a one-possession game, regardless of how the second free throw falls. Harris hits. He has 32. 3-point lead for Wilby. Schuler driving. Puts up the floater, can't hit, gets the rebound, hits and the foul! A chance for Schuler to tie. Schuler, who has not been to the free throw line tonight, steps up with 1 free throw to tie, 13.6 to go here in overtime. Schuler misses, and a foul called on Christian Harris. That's 5 on Harris. And the leading scorer fouls out for Wilby with 12.5 seconds to go. Glenn Hines steps to the free throw line for the first time tonight. A chance to give Ansonia the lead with 12.5 seconds to go in overtime. And the first one is no good. Hines with a very flat shot there. Still a chance to tie it here with the second free throw. Can't hit. The rebound. Schuler can't hit, but now he'll step to the free throw line with exactly 10 seconds remaining in regulation. A big offensive rebound off a missed free throw for Schuler. Schuler, who just missed the back end of a three-point play, with a chance to tie or take the lead here. First one, no good. Ansonia, 8 of 20 at the free throw line, 40% for the Chargers. 10 seconds to go. Schuler misses the second. The rebound pulled in Calvin Hicks. And Hicks will be at the free throw line for 2 shots and a chance to pad the lead. Somehow no time came off the clock there. That plays into Ansonia's favor with Hicks at the line. Hicks just 1 of 4 at the stripe in overtime. 2 of 6 today. And he misses that one. Wilby now 10 of 26 at the free throw line. Hicks makes the second. 2-point game, 62-60. Schuler with the ball. 6 seconds now and a foul called. Damian Wade called for the foul. Schuler at the free throw line for 2. Timeout taken. 5 seconds to go. Wilby up 62-60. It will put Schuler at the stripe. Schuler has not made a free throw today. 12 points for Schuler, the freshman. Chance to tie the game at the free throw line, but Ansonia's had a lot of trouble at the stripe, especially here in overtime. 2 of 9 in overtime from the line. Schuler shooting 2. And he can't hit the first. A make here doesn't help Ansonia too much with just 5 seconds down by 2. But he does. It looked like he was trying to miss. The inbounds goes to Black. And he'll step to the free throw line. Will be up by 1, 3.7 seconds to go. Here's Black. Makes the first. Now a 2-point lead. One more for Black. Can't get it to go. Schuler puts it up from half court. It's short, and Wilby pulls it out. 63-61. In overtime. A very impressive victory for Wilby as Christian Harris fouled out in overtime. And Wilby was still able to hang on and win this one 63-61. Harris ends up with 32 points to lead all scorers. Martin Antoine had 23 for Ansonia, but the Chargers fall to Wilby 63-61. I'm Tom Felice. Thank you so much for joining us watching NVL basketball. Wilby over Ansonia 63-61.